talk about OU football. Let's talk about how good it has been since the turn of the century. See, do this thing over at 247 Sports where you rank college football's winningest program since 2000. And there's some of the names that you would expect to see. USC at number 10, even in the Clay Helton years, for which we saw at 5-7. Their winning percentage, 72.5%. At number 9, Oregon. We can also look to what Chip Kelly was doing with Marcus Mariota and how Mario Cristobal has really picked that up and run with it with a Pac-12 championship and a Rose Bowl to show. They've won 72.8% of their games since 2000. Then there's Appy State, the Ears, putting up 73.3% in a win percentage. Eli Drinkwitz was able to really pick up what Scott Satterfield had built, and then he parlayed that into a Missouri job. You go to number 7, you see Clemson with Dabo Sweeney, 73.9% winning percentage. And you know what? They got the national championship to show for it. Then you get to number 6, you get to Georgia, 74.7%. They are 198-67 since 2000. And yeah, Mark Witt was great, but the Kirby Smart era has been stupendous. And since Nick Saban has taken over Alabama, they have been an absolute monster. 203-63 since 2000 at a 76.3% winning percentage. And well, you know that the last decade has belonged to Nick Saban. Number 4, you got LSU, 201-60, 77% winning percentage. That's wild, especially knowing that Ed Orgeron is not only considered one of the best college football coaches in America right now, but they were trying to run him out on a rail in 2016. And then at number 3, you got your Oklahoma Sooners, 219-49 with a winning percentage of 81.7%. And if you look back at what Bob Stoops was able to build, and you look at the staff that he was able to put together, you can see, man, they've just been really outstanding and great. But to the point here, Ohio State number 2, you get to number 1, Boise State. So winning percentage for them is 83.5%. And we know that Chris Peterson won 92 games from 2006 to 2013. But if Boise State has the number 1 winning percentage, and they have had one of the great runs of the past 20 years when we're talking about just winning football games, what are we really talking about if we're not talking about national championships? Because that's the part of this that I am interested in. How many times can you win and say you're great without winning a national championship? You look at Oklahoma, you see 1 national championship since 2000. You look at Boise State, 0, nada, nothing. Because we don't live in an era where we want the winningest college football programs to have an opportunity to play for a national championship. We want this blue blood or this moneyed program in this Power 5 conference to do it. We don't want to see a Mountain West team do it. We don't want to see an independent team do it. We don't want to see a Sun Belt team do it. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Appalachian State was in the FCS, handing Michigan its head. And then they jump into the Sun Belt and they go and they sun that. So I submit to you, Boise State, Appalachian State, they will have to join a Power 5 conference for us to even take them seriously, even as they're 2 of the top 10 winningest football programs since 2000. Yet, if you were to put them into the same category as in Oklahoma, if you were to put them into the same category as in Alabama, if you were to put them in the same category as even in Georgia, people would scoff at you, to which we would say, what the hell has Georgia won? The SEC? Cool. How many national championships they got to show for since 2000? 0, nada, nothing. The same amount as Boise State. The same amount as Appalachian State. I submit to you, give Boise State a shot. Give Appalachian State a shot. Can I live in a world where everybody who plays college football has an opportunity to play for a national championship? Because there's no limit to who can win the FCS. All of a sudden you get into the FBS and they change the rules on you. So if we're living in an era where we can learn how to work from home, if we're living in an era where we can learn how to defeat a pandemic, why the hell aren't we living in an era where we can have everybody play for a college football playoff national championship? I'm getting tired of this. I mean, we look at these all-time winning percentage deals and we're like, man, there's some group of 5 teams in here. What happened to everybody getting a shot? Can you imagine what it would be like for Darrington Evans to end up at the Heisman ceremony? No, probably not. Because the person next to you doesn't know who Darrington Evans is. And I submit to you, go look it up. You know, you want to talk about the great college football head coaches in America right now? Why doesn't everybody say Brian Harsin? Because he coaches at Boise State. What's wrong with Boise State? They beat the hell out of Oklahoma with Adrian Peterson in the backfield. You know, like, if they can do that in the Fiesta Bowl, why can UConn get a shot? Because they what? They used to play in a conference that mattered? How would you put Boise State above UConn at this point? You wouldn't. You'd just say that they used to play in the American. Boise State would run roughshod over all but maybe 3 teams in this entire FBS. But here we are, right now, talking about them as the winningest college football program in the past 20 years. And they have not had a single opportunity to play for the bowl, to hoist the belt. Give me a WrestleMania of college football, and I will show you the Broncos are right there at the end. They will be your Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match against Batista and Randy Orton, and they will raise the belt. Well, does it matter that they wouldn't raise the belt later? No! It matters that they raised the belt just one time. All 5'8", 200 pounds of them going, yes!